From our studios at the corner of 8th and Walton in Bentonville, Arkansas, welcome to Saturday Morning Meeting, where we cover Walmart, Sam's Clubs, and the consumer product companies that are represented on the racks and shelves throughout the country and around the world. I'm Derek Ridenour, and welcome to our show. Our focus is on the insights, trends, and best practices to help you as a supplier grow your business with the world's largest retailer. Thank you for joining us. And coming up today, we're going to be talking with Anthony Bagley from New Creature, and we will review this week's headlines with Colby Beeland and Andy Schuck. But first, your headlines. Bloomberg reports that a combination of slow sales and the inability to keep its shelves stocked has led Walmart to cut inventory orders in some product categories. Several suppliers recently reported receiving emails stating that the company would be pulling back on inventory orders. A Walmart spokesperson claims that the order cuts are not across the board, and Walmart executives feel good about their inventory situation. Walmart appears to be on a hiring spree. Retailing Today reports that Walmart plans to hire 55,000 workers to help out during the holiday season. Meanwhile, Business Week tells us that Walmart is moving 35,000 part-time workers to full-time and another 35,000 temporary workers to part-time status. The increase in full-time and permanent positions is in response to criticism over Walmart's empty shelf problem. Reuters reports that while Walmart touts its Made in the USA campaign as a recent commitment, Walmart may actually be following an existing manufacturing trend. Offshoring costs have increased over the years, so many consumer product manufacturers have brought back some of their operations to the United States. Walmart's taking the final phases of its Get on the Shelf contest to the internet, inviting the public to watch as entrepreneurs pitch their products to Walmart. Viewers will be able to vote on their favorite products during the show's run. The winner of the contest will be able to sell its products on Walmart.com and may have the opportunity for a spot on a Walmart store shelf. The Hispanic consumer market has hit $1.2 trillion, and major brands like Chrysler, Walmart, and McDonald's are clamoring for a piece of those sales, according to a recent report by USA Today. Brands are now making an effort to develop dual-language advertising campaigns. In addition, manufacturers are partnering with Latino celebrities who serve as brand endorsers and spokespeople. Even specialty products are finding a place on Walmart shelves. BevNet.com reports on Inco, a producer of ready-to-drink unsweetened or low-sugar white teas. While sweetened bottled black tea is no stranger to big box store shelves, white tea has historically been a bit of a specialty item. Still, Inco's test run in 200 Walmart stores was so successful that it's now going to be sold in 2,500 stores nationwide. The moral of the story, don't count your oddball product out. Walmart customers may surprise you. Later in the show, we're going to be talking with Chief Operating Officer at New Creature Design, Anthony Bagley, about what some suppliers may be missing and what they do to help your products get noticed. And up next, we're going to discuss this week's headlines with our panel as Saturday Morning Meeting continues.
GigWalk is an on-demand mobile workforce that can collect data and do work at retail. Businesses use GigWalk for retail audits, merchandising, and much more. With 350,000 smartphone-enabled workers available on demand, you get unprecedented speed and coverage across the U.S., Canada, and the UK. And all work is reviewed for quality and accuracy. Visit gigwalk.com to learn more.
Today's show has been sponsored in part by 8th and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart supplier education. Since 2006, 8th and Walton's by suppliers for suppliers approach to education and services has helped thousands of supplier teams grow their business with Walmart. Visit 8thandwalton.com to learn more.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Meeting, joined now by Andy Schuck from the Harvest Group and Colby Beeland from K-Stack. Welcome, guys. In the headlines, we're talking about Walmart cutting inventories. I know that's obviously a big thing for you, being in the transportation department. But Andy, I want to start with you. Not a good week for Walmart in terms of their stock price with the announcement of them cutting some of the inventory orders.
No, it wasn't. And, I think, Walmart announced that they, what did they say? That they were going to, that they were fine with their inventory position, exactly where it was at, and that was kind of where their stance was with it. And I think what we're seeing is that they are cutting back some inventories with certain suppliers, but I think it's kind of more category specific. It's not all the way across the board. I mean, I talked to a toy supplier that I know, and he said orders are great, looks like it's going to be a great season. So, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily all across the board, but just more specific to certain categories that I think they're going after.
We kind of see the same thing. We see that they're cutting back on inventory in certain departments to make more room in the store for more seasonal items, more Christmas, sales items that are going to drive top line sales, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I know that overall apparel seems to kind of be struggling with different retailers. So are we looking for that possibly one of the areas that really kind of sees the cut? Or
I don't know if it's in apparel. It possibly could be. We're hearing it's more in consumables. I don't know if
kind of
that's
the basics.
Yeah.
If I was a supplier right now, based on the comments that Walmart made about it, what I would be doing is I would be looking at my performance scorecard, right? And I would make sure that my inventory is growing at half the rate of my sales. And if your inventory is growing at half the rate of your sales, you might be able to work with replenishment managers and some of the others to go in and affect things. If you're getting orders cut and if things are happening like that, there might be a way to go in and get your orders increased because you are, making sure that your sales are increasing more than your.
Right. One thing I want to point out is that on that scorecard, obviously direct import suppliers, seasonal suppliers, that half a rate inventory growing at half the rate of sales doesn't necessarily apply because you're going into your season.
Very true.
But if you're a year-round supplier, whether it's in food or apparel or general merchandise, that should be the kind of barometer you use. And you may find if you go back and look at that your inventory is actually growing at less than half the rate, so you may have an opportunity to get some additional inventory in there. And the next thing I want to talk about is the Get on the Shelf program. Walmart is fully into that now. They've got some webisodes that are up and consumers can go in and vote on that. You had a chance to look at that this week, Andy,
it was
and I think
awesome.
you're kind of roped into the whole process.
I love American Idol and all the shows like that, and that's exactly how this is set up. I mean, you've got a buyer and then a couple of other people, some international sourcing people, things like that. But they're 3 Walmart.com people, and then all these inventors of these new items get to get up there and present in front of them, and then at the end of the episode, you get to go vote. So it's kind of like watching an American Idol episode or that new show Supermarket Superstars, that kind of thing, and it's really quite good.
Reality TV at its finest.
Yeah,
and it gets the consumer involved because as we were talking earlier, they're emotionally invested in the product as they go in there and they get committed to, as this competition goes forward, just like you see with American Idol. Driving foot traffic to the stores. I mean, it's a great way for Walmart to get people into the stores or at least onto their website. But there are a couple of problems with how they're doing it. Colby, we were talking about that earlier and how you vote.
Well, yeah, at the end, you've got to go to Facebook. And although there's millions of Facebook users out there, there's still plenty of people that either have left Facebook, they don't use Facebook anymore, or they just don't use Facebook at all. They've never adopted it. And then there's other people that utilize Facebook every day that they just don't want people to know they're creepers. They like to creep, but they don't like people to know what they're doing.
Right.
So, if you don't feel comfortable with somebody knowing that publicly what you choose or what you like, that may not be an avenue that you want people to know.
Well, and it's interesting too because as Walmart has struggled to try to bring in the millennials and some of the younger demographics that are out there, I'm hearing more and more that younger demographics are moving more to Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter. Yep. And it's interesting that they're going to choose to go to Facebook and not make it like a Walmart proprietary voting system where they can vote. And Walmart tabulates those. Can certainly share those on their own Facebook page, but it does seem interesting and kind of flawed, maybe short-sighted on Walmart's part to make only one voting avenue.
Yeah, but I will say this, the show is cool. I mean, you get to see the history behind these folks, kind of how they started and where the products came from. So, I mean, that's, even though you don't get to vote, because I don't have a Facebook account, I didn't vote.
You get to see the entrepreneurial spirit of America at its finest in real life. And at the end, a chance to go buy it on the shelf and know that you had something to do with it.
Yeah.
And of course, the problem is staying on the shelf once you get there, which I know we've talked about before with TJ Foltz, a winner of last year's show.
Humankind?
Humankind Water, and trying to just maintain that and understanding replenishment.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a little bit of time left, so I want to go into the hiring spree that Walmart is on. Just announced this week they're going to be promoting a lot of people from part-time to full-time. Mm-hmm. They're also going to be moving some of those temporary workers that they've hired into a part-time status, and they're going to be bringing on some additional staff. Thoughts on that? Is this going to help really drive the sales and improve customer service, particularly as we go into a holiday season?
Is it an unusually high amount of people, or is this just the typical
I don't know
thing that they do during Christmas?
It is
time?
what they do at Christmas. And when you look at Walmart's scope, you got 5,000 stores. So if you were to spread 35,000 people out over 5,000 stores, it's probably not that significant. I mean, when you look at they're hiring additional cashiers, but I think again, just with their scope, they have the ability to move a needle.
Yeah.
But thoughts on that?
Do you think they're going to try to incorporate the veterans that they've been discussing publicly about?
I think that they are. I haven't heard a lot that that's moving and progressing as rapidly as probably what Walmart wants. We'll see what happens with that. But hopefully, my hope is as they move forward and they're hiring these additional people and transitioning them over to full-time. Obviously, I will go back real quick to the year beginning or the shareholders meeting that they had this year. The big theme around that entire shareholders is Walmart's a great place to work. So in a way, they're kind of fulfilling what they talked about back at shareholders by transitioning those part-timers to full-timers, temporary to part-time, and hopefully they're going to kind of solidify themselves as not just a McJob
Yeah, and
company.
the hope is that they keep them, right?
Retainment, yeah.
And keep
so
that
they
turnover
keep the
low.
shelves full, right? Because I mean,
Absolutely.
after the season is over with and we get into January, if we can keep some of those people on there to keep the shelves full, that would.
Yeah, because
that would really
I
tell
mean,
the story.
we're going to go back to where we started, and inventory reductions that always seem to happen in January. January is a big clearance month. It's also the last month of the quarter for Walmart, so they're going to be struggling to kind of reduce that inventory to make their books look better as they wrap up their fiscal year. So it'll be interesting to see how things progress over the next couple months as we get into Christmas and then into January. Guys, thank you very much. We will leave it there. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Anthony Bagley. He is the COO of New Creature Design here in Rogers. Anthony's got some pointers on some things you may be able to do to improve the way your items look in stores. Anthony Bagley is next on Saturday Morning Meeting.
Today's show has been sponsored in part by 8th and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart supplier education. 8th and Walton offers a variety of services including new supplier onboarding, scorecard optimization, and analysis and reporting. Visit 8thandwalton.com/services to learn more.
Cameron Smith & Associates is suppliers' first choice in recruiting the competitive Walmart supplier job market. We connect qualified candidates to CPG jobs in Northwest Arkansas and across the country. CSA also sources sales and marketing professionals for companies providing advertising, marketing, merchandising, and data management services to suppliers. Contact us today at csarecruiters.com.
Welcome back to Saturday Morning Meeting. We're joined now by Anthony Bagley. He is the Chief Operating Officer for New Creature Design in Rogers. Anthony, thanks for coming in. First of all, I want to start off with, tell us what New Creature does.
New Creature is a shopper marketing agency, so we help local suppliers get programs into Walmart. We do that by offering strategic planning, point of sale displays, design, strategic renderings, etc.
You guys have been in business for about 15 years now.
That's right.
Roughly. And during that time, I'm sure you've seen a lot of clients come in. What are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen a CPG company or just a supplier to Walmart come into your office and say, here's what we want to do and here's what we think, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, well, a lot of that has to do, it's about not having the right attitude, to be honest. When they come in, they haven't thought about what it's like to be at Walmart. They haven't developed the willingness to learn and understand Walmart. Their corporate office is telling them, this is what we need to do, this is how it needs to be done, and they haven't really focused on what it's like to be here in Bentonville. And so I think that the program not being aligned to what the buyer wants, the program not being aligned to what will work at Walmart for all of their locations, it'll work for definitely one of the prototype stores here in Bentonville.
Teresa Barrera-Shaw was on a couple weeks ago. One of the things that she said she saw a lot of is companies would come to Walmart and sit down with her when she was a DMM or DMM at Walmart. And it was interesting that many of those suppliers had never even been in a Walmart store and had no concept. And I also find it interesting, if you go in a restaurant, the first time the waiter comes up to you, they say, what can I get you? What can I do for you, basically? And I don't see a lot of suppliers doing that. To your point, I think they come in and say, here's what we have, you need to take it.
That's
and
correct.
They don't understand the Walmart customer.
Yeah, and I think that it's hard. I actually believe that a lot of the local reps or local individuals working here in Bentonville, they get it. Their problem is trying to influence their corporate offices. That is the biggest problem, and I see that a lot. And that's where New Creature comes in sometimes to be able to help because of our relationship with the suppliers. And
then what are some of the big wins you've seen?
I think the big wins that we've seen is where the supplier is willing to collaborate. So when I look at back to schools, that one where the buyers, the DMMs, they're trying to put a full program together and use style guides. And all of the suppliers are willing to work into that. That was amazing. We had a ton of suppliers that were willing to work the process to collaborate and make that program the best. When I look at programs like entertainment launches, Man of Steel, Call of Duty, same thing, collaborating to try to bring unique product for Walmart that'll drive and grow market share. And it also lifts sales in the rest of the box when you look at grocery, apparel, and toys.
Now, New Creature also, I want to make sure we're clear, is not just simply someone who's going to go out and design corrugate or design a package. Certainly can do that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's a very ancillary part of what we do. I think that because of how we started and because of this area, I think there's perceptions that people believe. But no, we definitely do a lot more of that. We collaborate so much up front in the process before it even gets to the display manufacturing that that is the one part we just said earlier where suppliers don't understand that. Corporate doesn't understand what it takes to get a program sold through at Walmart. And I think influencing them is the key. And then on top of that, at the back end, logistical support, understanding Walmart's supply chain is something that we definitely understand. That's what's been some of our secret sauce.
Now let me ask you this kind of maybe a tough question. If I'm sitting at corporate and I've got a marketing team who does this, why do I need to call you? What are the advantages of calling you, of calling New Creature?
Because of our expertise and our knowledge of a retailer. When you look at normal shopper marketing agencies, they function directly with that marketing group. So when you look at a corporate office in Chicago, and they're working with a shopper marketing agency in Chicago, that shopper marketing agency doesn't understand Walmart. They don't understand what it's like to do the process here. They don't understand working with this retailer. They will sell that it's like working with a retailer for Target is totally different than working with Target. So I think that understanding that it takes a subject matter expert and respecting the subject matter experts is the key. And I feel that local vendors, local people that live in Bentonville have that struggle too. They're like, respect the subject matter experts, collaborate, and we can, definitely move forward.
Well, let's talk about new suppliers. Those suppliers who've never been in a Walmart store, just bought their first plane ticket and came down here to Bentonville. Yeah. Before they ever go talk to a buyer, what would you tell them to do?
I would tell them to make sure that their ambition aligns with the discipline that them and their organization have to attain it. That's probably the most complicated fact for people to get in their mind. Everybody wants to go tackle Walmart and wants to get in there and sell more. But that ambition is awesome. We all have it. We need that. But when it doesn't align with the discipline to work through Walmart, to work through how Walmart works, I think that's where you have some issues. So I think that you must be willing to have that discipline to attain your ambition. It's just like the same thing if you wanted to go play professional golf. Are you going to practice every single day and do what it takes?
So what if I'm a brand new supplier and I pick the phone up and I haven't got an appointment with Walmart, what can you tell me if I call you?
I can tell you
And what are some of the things that I need to focus on that you're going to tell me to go work on?
Number one, making sure you're relevant. Make sure that product's relevant for what season you're trying to go in. We can tell you what other promotions are going on within Walmart. What is Walmart trying to do in the store, promotion-wise, that could be a benefit to your product. You may be trying to get on a shelf in your department. We could tell you that they're running a program for entertainment in which they're looking for your type of product to cross-merchandise with another product on a display that you don't even know. It's not even in the normal area that you're going to work.
And then final thoughts?
Yeah, I think that, again, I go back to embracing the grind. I think that would be what I would say. Embrace the grind without frustration if you want to work and do work for Walmart. I think that's some of the stuff that gets overlooked. The grind of Walmart is frustrating, and I think that sometimes people get frustrated, and I think that if you just embrace it, anything you want to do great, you're going to have a grind. Embrace it without frustration, collaborate, and move forward, and that's it.
Okay, a final question. What keeps you up at night?
Driving 30 miles an hour in a 70. And I think that, when you're driving home or when you're, driving on the road somewhere and someone's at 30 miles an hour in the fast lane and they're by themselves, they're with on the phone or talking to someone else, and everybody's going around them, they're speeding, they're honking, and you look back and, they don't know that they're driving 30. They don't get it. And I think that in life, at work, professionally, personally, I think that driving 30 miles an hour in a 70 and not knowing it, it scares me, and I don't want to be that.
Anthony, thank you very much. And we're out of time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, email us Saturday@8thandwalton.com. And I want to invite you to join us next week. We're going to sit down with Senior Merchandising Director in Electronics, Rand Waddups from Walmart. We're going to be talking about innovation and what some suppliers, or what really all suppliers, need to be thinking about, not just in electronics. That's all coming up next week on Saturday Morning Meeting.